Yes, This song is called Be the Change, inspired by the words of Mahatma Gandhi, who lived for peace and not violence, and told us to be the change we wish to see in the world.
Welcome to the 100th Monkey Radio with Tom and the Monkey Crew. We have Elifie and Greg with us tonight as co-hosts on the show, and wow, this is going to be actually a special treat for you guys. I think you're thoroughly going to enjoy this show tonight. We are going to be covering, I think we're going to hit just about every base that's out there. We are recording this on May 4th of 2015, and Elifie had a little bit of excitement this morning on his way to work. What happened there, Elifie?
I was driving to work and reached in my pocket, and I realized that I left my piece of orgonite that I seem to always carry with me every day. And I said, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's okay. You're gonna make your own day." And while I was just finishing that thought, it was almost like God had thrown a deer at me, because the deer just was one jump out of the bushes into the road right in front of me, and I just had enough time to see it, and I slammed right into it, and the deer flipped upside down, and my car just took a nosedive. So it was definitely an exciting Monday morning for me. I do appreciate the experience that I had, and just so happens within 3 hours I had another car lined up that was very, very affordable, and all I had to do was put half a day's worth of work into it to make it drivable, so problem solved.
There you go, good stuff. So how are you doing tonight, Greg?
Oh, I'm doing great. I can't wait to hear what we have in store tonight. I think it's going to be a good one.
So, Greg, you're the one that actually kind of got us hooked up with this guest, correct?
Yeah. This is going to be Diana Billingslea. She has become a very good friend of mine over Facebook. She has many, a Facebook page, and I'll put it short. You're going to find out what she's more about, but she has been helping me extremely, and I believe you'll see why.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. So, Elifie, we got anything in the news we want to hit on tonight?
Yeah, I got a couple things. I was doing some looking up into free energy technologies, and one of the things I seen was this concept tire that Goodyear is going to be putting out pretty soon. And the tire itself generates electricity through heat. So the friction of the tire on the road, the sunlight that reflects off the tires, or that is absorbed into the tires, is all converted into electricity to help supply power for the electric cars. Thermo-piezoelectric is what it's called. I also seen a couple other stories in there. One of them was about these new type of solar panels they're coming out with, and they're solar panels that don't necessarily look like a big rectangular black box. They're actually in the shape of they have little stems and little flower petals on them. And so they kind of blow in the wind, they move, and they reflect they absorb the sun energy from all different angles. So, yeah, lots of, new things that are coming out. Everybody's looking for investors to help get these things down. I say use discernment and try to find something good. I guess the last thing I want to mention is that mass sighting down in San Diego just a few days ago. I've seen some pretty good videos on YouTube about it, and I'd like to try to figure out how long the sighting actually was. We all noticed that the videos were looped, and I'd like to see some other angles of those videos. So if anybody has them out there, that would be awesome if you can get them on YouTube. Different angles from all over San Diego. But yeah, very interesting. It seems like we're having more and more sightings more and more often. So I don't know. Just be ready. The time's getting close for something. I don't know what, but something.
Yeah, that one, I looked at that before we got started here tonight, and it definitely looks like a pretty impressive sighting. We posted it on the 100th Monkey Radio Facebook page, so if you guys are interested, you can go on over there and take a look. And wouldn't you know it, it's about time for my phone to start ringing. Just 1 second here.
Yeah, so we have Diana Billingslea tonight, and we are very excited to have her. Let me see here. You want to read the bio, Tom?
Yeah, I got it. All right, that was my mom calling. She has a wonderful knack of calling right when we get started on shows. She, I don't know how many times that's happened. Anyways, I love you, Mom. We do have Diana Billingslea with us. My name, this is in her words, by the way, obviously. My name is Diana Billingslea. I am a spiritual life coach, spiritual teacher, ordained minister, Reiki Master, crystal healer, certified realm reader, certified angelic medium, certified book of life Akashic record reader, intuitive reader, and tarot/oracle reader. I've spent countless hours developing her inner self while educating myself on the many gifts of spiritualism. Throughout my life, the process of deep knowing and intuitive-based guidance was a manifestation of my inner self. As I embarked on my journey of aligning with the power of mind, body, and soul, I became aware of how vast the world really is and how disillusioned we can become at times. I came to realize that my soul had a calling to help those see, not only with their eyes, but with their entire being, to fully empower and align with truth, love, and intention. By uniting these elements, I've created a process that will help you transform your life to be one with everything you deserve, be, and receive. I am here to be your mentor and guide. I will teach you the many concepts of balance and restorative healing to ignite the many possibilities of you. By creating, igniting the inner you, I have transpired to help individuals gain a more purposeful and abundant life. I am motivated daily to reach out from my soul and into the hearts of many, to help them gain the awareness of love and compassion by utilizing the tools of spirituality as well as the knowledge of goal setting and motivation. Sometimes we need a mentor to help us on this journey of enlightenment. When we become in tune with our inner wisdom, we are able to take hold of the countless blessings that the divine is giving us. I am that mentor, that coach, that sweet nudge to help you find yourself. And her website is www.ignitingtheinneryou.com, and she has a pretty large Facebook presence out there. Her Facebook page is Diana Billingslea, and all those links are there on the info tab of the show page. So welcome to the 100th Monkey Radio, Diana.
Thank you very much. I feel so blessed to be here tonight.
Glad you're here.
Yes, we are absolutely ecstatic you're here today. We had a chance to kind of talk with you, what was it, last Monday? And, yeah, we were all in full consensus. We were like, we need to have her on the show. We need a 2-hour block. We need to dig into her mind. So. Well, thank you. Go ahead. How did you get started in this? What was your nudge to bring you down this path of knowing?
I've been on the spiritual path my whole life. I've been open to so many different things, but never really realized it. To start from the beginning, when my mother was pregnant with me, she fell down a flight of stairs and immediately went to the doctors, and I was pronounced dead. And so she was about 7 months along at that time. And so they would have had to surgically remove me. And so they set a date. After she left the doctor's office, she went to a shrine here in Golden, Colorado. It's called Mother Cabrini. It's a Catholic-based shrine. But she sat there and she prayed. She prayed that everything would be okay. And sure enough, at that moment, I started kicking. And I share that story because I truly believe in miracles, and I believe miracles are very much a part of spirituality. It's just being able to open your eyes and really feel it and see it, My next spiritual obstacle, I guess you can say, is when I was 13 years old. I was, the rebel child, of course. Everything was right in my head, and I was always arguing with my parents whether I was right and they were wrong.
And of course you were right.
Absolutely. But, it really, it really hit me, and I took it very personally. And at that time, I felt really alone. And so I ended up running up into my room and laying my head on the edge of my bed. And I sat there and I just called out and said, please help me. What is going on? Why do I feel so alone right now? And at that moment, I felt the sun rays around me get so much hotter. I felt warmth and love and compassion and immediately stopped crying. And that's when I knew, oh my gosh, there's so much more to this world than what we actually see.
Yeah.
It took up until about a year ago for me to really dive into my journey, though. I've always been open to the idea of a bigger universe than what I actually knew of. But last year, I had all sorts of struggles, from finances to relationship problems to just a lot of things, judgments being passed, stuff like that. And I looked inside myself and I said, you know what, Diana? You're not connected with yourself. These are signs showing you're doing things wrong. You need to just look within yourself and you will see that the world can be such a more beautiful place. And so I did that for about 6 months. I read thousands of books. I swear my head was in a book every day, a new one anyways. And I decided I'm going into isolation. And that's what I did. I did not talk to anybody. I stayed within myself for 6 months straight. Yeah, so and then that's when and that's when I realized everything that I know. It's once I finally had peace within myself is when I finally realized what the world was really about and what everybody has to see at some point. It's bigger. There's so much love. There's so much compassion. And so that's why I became what I am today, the teacher, the mentor, the coach, being able to read cards and look into people's past lives and have an intuitive based guidance really helps people to see there's so much more.
Right. One of the big reasons that we decided we wanted to bring you on the show is that I see you as one of those lights that are being turned on the planet right now. And I've been into this for a long time myself, and watching it's been like it's been a slow process of watching the development of consciousness, not only in the collective, but I've been seeing these lights pop up all over the planet. And in the last 5 years, there's just been a tremendous influx of people who are being switched on. They're getting that intuitive hit that takes them down there, or something's activated, or something was activated a few years back that is pushing people and giving people how's it go? When the student is ready, the teacher appears. And the teachers are here, and they're creating more teachers. I think that's one of the natural, I kind of see that as a natural evolution of our own spirituality, is that once we really start on this path where It's, for lack of a better term, it's a compulsive thing that we have to share, that we need to share to be fulfilled. Do you feel that for yourself?
Oh, absolutely. If there was such a group, I would join spiritual addicts all over the world. I feel like, I have this passion, this fire that just ignited and it keeps growing higher and higher that I need to teach. I need to show people. I need to help people as much as possible find this process within themselves and awaken, and every day my hunger grows stronger. I feel like I'm not even tapping into half of what I am absolutely capable of. I feel there's a lot of spiritual leaders being born across the world, and I think it's an absolutely fantastic thing. People are shining, their lights are coming up, and they're teaching and they're motivating and they're really, really helping with the consciousness that is happening right now.
Mm-hmm. So taking a look into your, well, not necessarily the crystal ball, but I'm kind of wanting to get a little bit of your views on some of the challenges that humanity is facing right now, and not only on a collective level, but us on the personal levels, the things that are really coming up to be addressed now for us.
Oh, the energy right now has been shifting so much. There has been a lot of personal issues arising as well as worldwide. I mean, just take a look at all the destruction that's happening all over the place. Look at the earthquakes. Look at the violence, the rioting. It's all based on this energy that's happening, and it's all coming from the egoic mind. People are having to face their shadow selves right now. People are really having to take a look at themselves and say, hey, is this how I want my life to be? And a lot of people are having to question themselves. Within the last couple of days, actually, I've witnessed a lot of people that are really changing who they were and becoming these powerful entities. Some negative, some positive. I've noticed a lot of people are passing judgments now. I think negativity is actually starting to come up so that the positive can come out and fight it.
Yeah, I've actually noted that before. It goes back to another one of those old sayings that is very true. It's always darkest before the dawn, right? I think that when we're right on the verge of making big breakthroughs, I've noted within people that and this isn't true across the board, but it's something that I have noted quite frequently with people where right before that big breakthrough, they have a tendency to take a big nosedive. So they'll go into that dark night of the soul for however long they need to be there. And then they come back just shining brighter than ever.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have to agree with that 100%. I feel like people are having to face that deconstructing part of their lives where they have to really see that shadow self before they can even touch the light that's within them.
Right. So you're running, you're doing a lot of work on Facebook. Tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing there.
Right now I am actually teaching a course on spiritual transformation. It is a 12-week course that covers the basis of 4 major concepts. Meditation and mindfulness practice is huge. Stilling the mind is imperative to be able to hear the truth in yourself. The next process is deconstruction and reconstruction of yourself. And we were just touching base on that. You have to face the mirror, see yourself as you are right now, and accept change and growth. So in the class, we go through that process as well. I also believe in self-healing and chakra balancing. I believe that everybody should really be aware of the 7 main chakras. I mean, there's plenty more outside of the 7 main, but those are the ones that really have a huge effect on your being. So I cover the 7 main chakras, what they do, how they can affect you, and how to heal them. And then I go into spiritual gifts and awareness. I feel like this is a very touchy subject because there are very, very highly sensitive people out there that don't even realize what they are feeling. And I think it's a huge concern in the world, to be honest with you. I've come across a lot of empaths that have been medicated or treated for stuff that they don't actually have. And so they are zombified is the word I like to use.
Right.
And so I touch basis on the spiritual awareness and gifts to help those empaths because majority of the people I come across are those highly sensitives. And I let them know of what that is, how to control it, and how to protect themselves so that they can live a normal life.
Whatever normal is.
Yeah. I mean, they're as normal as possible, I guess, you know, when they can go to a grocery store and not have to be afraid of all the energies that they're feeling and know that they don't have to take on other people's emotions and what they're going through as their own, you know, deciphering between the two.
Well, it sounds like you've got a pretty comprehensive plan going on there. And your class just started this last weekend, is that correct? Or is this starting this coming weekend?
It started on Friday. So we're on our first real day. On Friday, it was more of a, okay, let me touch base and have you guys introduce yourself. But today was the beginning of the program.
Okay, so, well, when this show airs, then you'll have 2 sessions in the can, so to say. This comes out this next Sunday, so we're kind of speaking, or we're time traveling or something like that.
Time traveling. Yeah, actually, it will be a full week's worth of course as of Sunday. And so I would be discussing meditation and mindfulness in the fullest already.
Okay, and as far as anybody who kind of in retrospect kind of wish we would have got this show in last week, but is there still room within the class? If somebody listening wanted to join in, is this all recorded to where they would have access to everything that's happened so far and be able to be caught up and not completely lost?
The nice thing is nobody's missing out because it's going to start every first of the month. And so I'll have consecutive classes every single month.
Oh, nice. Nice. Very nice. All right. So I'm a big meditator. And, you know, I found that has been probably one of the biggest boons in my personal path is my ability to set the ego aside and actually do try some of these different processes and methods of meditations and then finally ultimately developing my own way to do it. But I have found that has been the single most effective and powerful tool that I've ever used. What is meditation to you?
Meditation is the ability to look within yourself for the inner truth that lies dormant within inside you. I feel that everybody's truth is just hiding under a rock within ourselves, and when we're able to really hone in on our inner truth, the light of the universe is there. You know, so meditation is the ability to stop the thoughts, still the brain, which the brain can be so toxic in so many ways, and really see love, compassion, and truth, and be able to feel it and know that everything's going to be okay.
Right. So So what's meditation look like for you? I mean, I know everybody has their, there's a lot of different methods and processes for meditation that are out there. And there's some out there that say this is the right way to do it, and there is a wrong way to do it. I guess, what's that look like for you?
Honestly, I'm pretty much meditating all day long. You can meditate by just simply walking around and enjoying the presence of everything around you. It's the ability to understand that everything that comes to your head, you don't have to pass a judgment on. And so I feel like there's no right or wrong way to meditate besides the fact that you have to just be within yourself, be within your thoughts. So when you're walking down the street or you're at work, just take the time just to listen to yourself, to see what's coming to your head. And that, to me, is meditation. I mean, there's deeper forms of meditation. When I go in to a meditation every day, I do it for about 45 minutes, and that's deep and profound. I see visualizations and illustrations of what I need to know. But throughout the day, I'm getting information, I'm getting truth, and I'm able to decipher that it is my inner truth. It is something saying, my intuition saying, this is what you need to do. This is your guidance.
Right.
I guess the best way I could put it is meditation is a form of guidance to me.
Mm. Yeah, are there any common milestones that people reach in meditation that you've noted?
Common milestones?
Yeah, I mean, I know in my meditation, when I first started meditating, there were certain things that happened via the meditations that were like, oh wow, this is cool. You know, I'd hit these places and I'd find these certain things within the meditation that gave me the sense of value, the sense of treasure that I had found in the meditation. So I guess what are some of the benefits that you're finding through out of meditation?
Oh wow, I've had a lot. I've had past lives come forward. I've had my spirit guides come forward. I've seen them. I've seen my spirit animals. I've seen things that are supposed to happen in the future that I don't talk about, but you name it, I've seen. So I really don't think that there's a common milestone. It's more of your own journey. Whatever your guides and the divine's trying to show you is what's going to come.
Mm. You know, I had myself, one of the first things that popped up for me in meditation was a physical sense of vibration in the chakras that like activated, and it was directly associated with the meditation and finding that stillness within myself that I found that the sensing of the energetic body and the vibration of the energetic body was one of the biggest things for me that just kind of took me over the edge, and I was like, oh wow, another feather in my cap of knowing that there's more to this world than the third dimension, you know.
So in that meditation, was it possible that you had a Kundalini awakening?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That was, but it was the way I've had the full blown Kundalini, and I can actually, I'm able to. From the way others describe the Kundalini experience, I can't really say that I've had what they had, but I know that I have lit up my full chakra or energetic body vibrating at such a high state that I just felt my whole entire being was completely immersed in this vibration. And the flow, and almost everything I've ever heard anybody describe about a Kundalini experience I pretty much can experience within those states. So it's pretty amazing within itself. But it was interesting the way that it developed for me. Is I started out with just it was a very conscious activation where I was able to. I started with my big toe. I mean, that was my primary focus, and the vibration appeared within my big toe, and I was able to consciously and intentionally instruct it and direct it to grow and then move and then encompass more parts of my body. And it was just a very interesting experience for me to intentionally light up my body with that vibration.
Amazing. You are the controller of yourself.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Yeah, the Kundalini, I mean, it is a very vast concept because there's people like you that have experienced it willingly and knowingly and just allowed it to flow through. And then there's the people that don't have any idea what they're experiencing, and it becomes a nightmare. Right. I've heard stories of people ending up in an emergency room, because they had no idea what they were experiencing when all you had to do was just let it happen, and you will feel the most immense amount of love. That's the best way I can explain it, is that your body and your vibrations is just pure love. You're like in this whole other universe.
Right. Yeah, I made a mistake with that energy early on, and trying to share it with others when they were absolutely not ready for it and were not in any kind of a state to be able to deal with it. And I don't know exactly the full details of what actually on the energetic level had transpired, but I had my whole core was lit up, and I was, it was a mildly intimate situation that I was in, and I said, I want you to feel this, and I put my hand on her solar plexus and projected the energy, and it lit her solar plexus up, and it freaked her out so bad that that was the last time she ever talked about anything spiritual with me. So it had kind of a reverse effect. And this was, wow, I guess almost 20 years ago now. But and to this day, she's still a very third-dimensional person, and it's not her path. But hopefully, I'm not the reason for it.
Yeah, when people aren't prepared, it can definitely be a scary experience for sure.
Yeah, but how do you feel about fate? I mean, there's some that feel that free will is basically just an illusion, and that everything that transpires on a planet and within our lives is predestined. How do you feel about that? Do you think there's that element of fate is it's all out there already, and we're just actually taking the steps that we already have taken at some other place, some other time?
I honestly believe that we are set up with several different paths that are mapped out, and it is based on free will, to be honest with you. So say for instance, I am looking at a path of two, and I come to the fork in the road, and I have to make this huge decision that will either make me go left or it's going to make me go right. Right there, that is a choice of free will. That is a choice of many things that could happen. So if I decide to go left, it could be the possibility of the harder road. I might end up spiraling through a rocky forest, but if I would have made a different decision, I would have maybe went on a little bit of a smoother path that was a little bit easier. So really, I think fate is about discernment, going with what your gut says and making choices for yourself, because everything happens for a reason. And I think that those reasons are already mapped out for us.
But that choice that you do decide to make, isn't that choice already chosen? Or if you would have chose the other path?
I think it's already chosen in the sense that we have this like huge map of our life. You know, like there's not a wrong or right way to go, but I think that there's a lot of like down the path, there's already things that are laid out for you. And so I don't necessarily think that our choice is necessarily mapped out, but obstacles that or things to come up are already laid out if you make that choice.
Yeah, depending on which choice you make, you know, say right or left, you know, each one of those roads have already been traveled down, you know, as in predestination. But now, where's your point of consciousness going to be? Is it going to be on the right road or the left road? Is that?
I guess that's to you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it. Is you know, there is free will to choose which path you want to walk, and you know, if you choose to go left, you know, I also see it, you know, your point of consciousness will be to the left, but you could still also have gone down the other road, but your point of consciousness isn't there. And, you know, later on those things would line back up together to make, you know, another choice or another fork in the road. So either way you go, you're still going to come back to the same spot. It's just about how you're going to get there. But
exactly. That's exactly how I feel too. Absolutely. Your destination's always the same, but it's just a matter of which way you're going to go to get there.
Yeah, just with a slightly different verbiage, I kind of see it as there are certain predestined events within each person's path that there are milestones that they will reach, and it doesn't matter what choices they make or what decisions they make along the way. They can go down 100 different paths, but they all end up funneling back into that one crossroad. And then from there, it'll go off in, you know, 100 different paths back into another crossroad. I see certain predestined events within people's lives that they are going to experience, whether it comes from the dark side or the light side. That is the choice, the free will choice that we have within the structure, is that how are we going to approach that milestone that we will cross.
Absolutely. Do you believe in soul agreements?
You know, I see that there's some validity to it, but I can't say I know that because I don't remember doing it. And so without me being able to remember the actual thing happening, you know, I can't say it. I can't say it's a truth.
Yeah.
But I did, like I said, I mean, I've come across some things in my own life that I don't think there's anything or any possible way that I could have avoided it in any way, shape, or form. It was going to happen no matter what. And so those things and those types of things, I see, that's where I get the personal knowing within myself that there are certain events that I went through that was completely unavoidable. And whether or not that was a soul contract or something that was laid out prior to incarnating here, I tend to believe so, but I can't say that for a fact, for a truth, just because I don't have the evidence even within myself to do that.
Yeah, so it's almost like free will on the path of fate.
Exactly.
It all intertwines with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I do kind of see that there, you know, like you said, Tom, you know, I don't remember either if we ever had some kind of contract that's, you know, hey, when I'm 26, I'm going to come over and start harassing you, you know, but I do think that it's very likely, you know, I think that it is very likely that we, you know, we met up on a higher level, you know, before we came down here, before we projected ourselves down here, you know, just so, you know, and I see it kind of like a huddle in football. You know, we're all going to get together. We're going to make a plan. What are we going to do? What are we going to come down here for? And then we come down here and do it. You know, and however that lines up on the free will of fate, then that's how it lines up. But like you said, Tom, you know, I don't remember right now. I might remember tomorrow, and then I'll let you know. But as of right now, I don't remember.
So, Diana, you have connections that you're able to access into the other realms, into accessing information that is not readily accessible to people in the third dimension. Those psychic, intuitive conversations and connections with spirit guides, ascended masters, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How does that manifest for you? I mean, through what venue or what path do you use to access that information?
I am still working on my clairvoyance of being able to physically see them. I see them in my mind's eye, but I see little sparks of light and stuff like that whenever they're around. But usually how they communicate with me is through mental flashcards and empathetic feelings that I get from them. Like when I do my healings, I ask for Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, and Ascended Master Jesus to be with me. And how I always know that they're there is that they have a certain vibration within them. They have, like, Archangel Michael has this profound protectiveness, but this loving energy. As in Archangel Raphael, whenever I have him around, I always feel his hands on my shoulder. And so that's how I know he's there. And then with Ascended Master Jesus, I actually feel within my whole entire body, it's crazy. I feel this profound love and forgiveness. With spirit guides, they usually tend to stay with the mental flashcards that have stumped me in so many ways, but it's amazing because they give me the choice of figuring out what they are trying to say. Sometimes they'll shoot me a message of a triangle, and somehow I have to figure out what a triangle would mean. But it's quite an intense process, to be honest with you.
So do you feel like when you're calling in Archangel Michael and Raphael and Jesus, do you feel like they're coming there just to be present with you, just to hold the space while you're doing the work? Or are you asking them to do the work for you?
They usually are a presence, but there has been numerous occasions where they will actually go and do a lot of work while I do the work as well. I've had a couple of clients that have been pretty sick, and they're in the hospital, not in a good place. And whenever I've invited the three, they ended up not being with me, but with the patient. So I think it's a matter of what they want to do or feel would be best for that person.
So what about other entities that, well, I know that me personally, when I started, just the simple act of trying to connect to, higher self, to guides, to ascended masters, et cetera, kind of open up a huge, broad expanse of different beings that are out there that are reachable through our other senses. I'm just curious, what other types of entities or beings out there have you come across?
I've come across spirit animals a lot. I don't know why that is. I'm somehow connected to the spirit animals, but a lot of times, especially when I do my Akashic readings, I will come across a guardian that's an animal. And it takes me back quite a bit. But most of the times the beings that I come across are like spirit guides that are trying to pave the way. I've never come across anything of dark matter, and that could be because of my boundaries. I've actually asked to only be able to see and be around things of love and light. So I've never had an encounter with anything bad. as for other types of beings that I've come across, because I am a certified realm reader, I've come across people that have been from all over the universe. You know, so it's really just opening your eyes and seeing, because they're everywhere. Everything and every being is from some different part of the universe.
Yeah, you know, I do the same thing too. You know, anytime I'm going to call anything in, I'm very, very specific and very direct on what type of frequency that I will allow in or allow anywhere near me, or for that matter, I mean, allow that I will allow around anybody else that's around me. You know, so I am very, very specific. But I got a question. So you do Akashic readings, and how does that work?
It's the best way I can put it is you do lots of visualization and asking of permission. When I'm working with a client, they first have to set the intention out there that the permission is there for me to access their Akashic records, because it is a sacred spot for everybody. Nobody can access your Akashic records without your permission. When I go in, I actually see a building, a sacred building, that holds people's records. It's like a library, I guess you can say. When I first walk into the building, I see a book of someone's life. I ask a question and it will direct me to the page of their life that holds the answers. Typically, I don't go through an entire book on people's lives because it's completely unnecessary. Usually people that are having those readings have specific questions like, did I have a life in Atlantis? Or was I a Native American in a past life? Or why am I experiencing these things in my relationships in this lifetime? And usually it'll provide the answers when I ask it. And so that's usually the experience that I have. Upon entering the building, there's always a guardian there. And I've come across some pretty interesting guardians. They're very powerful, very stern, but very loving at the same time. But they watch, they watch what you do, and they make sure you're not doing anything that's going to cross a boundary or that you shouldn't be doing. They're very protective.
Okay, you're probably going to hear quite a difference in the audio now, and I'll apologize to all our listeners out there. We've been all sitting around talking into the same microphone, and I looked down at the floor and saw the end of my cord just sitting there wide open and going, wow, how is she hearing us? And I guess you were being picked up through the microphone on the camera. So guys, I will, when I edit this up, I'm going to do my best to bring the first part of this audio on from this end up a little bit better. Oh, I just love it. At least you've been able to hear what we were asking.
I listened very intently. You guys were pretty quiet.
That's what it was.
Oh, jeez.
Should have said something.
Yeah, I keep scooting closer and closer to the microphone for no reason, I guess.
All right. Well, thank you, whoever just nudged me to look down. Oh, boy. Interesting. Now, so where were we? Oh, that's hilarious. Akashic Records. Yeah, that's something that so many people who do readings, Akashic record readings, is they all have that building, and I've never actually intentionally tried to access the Akashic records, but I'm gonna guess that just there's a pathway there that's been opened up by so many people who have accessed it and used the visualization of a building and a library, books and all that sort of thing as the spiritual metaphor to be able to access that information. So I'm guessing that that's the way that I would see it too.
To help your visual also, I was told that the Akashic Records can be viewed as in scrolls. Is that true?
You know, I haven't seen it in scrolls, but I heard that as well. Everything has always been a book for me, and it's actually very interesting because like each book has like its unique pattern to it. But I have heard for certain people that it's in like the sacred scroll. Like they have this huge list of things that really stand out, and so it's like an open book for them, almost like this. I can't really explain it, but I have yet to come across one.
So is that sort of thing, you know, the imagery that we get for all these different things when we start accessing those other realms, and whether it's those flashcards that you're talking about, or whether it is you know, connection with spirit guide, ascended master, extraterrestrial, whatever it is you're accessing and connecting with, the imagery that comes along with it, there's such a wide spectrum of different imagery that people get for the same sorts of things, and I'm just curious of your views there on whether or not it is something that is created specifically for the person that is accessing it, or is there a common reality base that they're tapping into that is the same for everybody?
I really think it's dependent on the person, just because we receive information in so many different ways. And so I think that the person that's accessing it is really the one in charge, to be honest with you. I think there are probably common denominators, like, you know, the building. I'm sure the building probably looks the same, or the pathway to the building probably looks the same. But as for like what the actual information comes as, I think that really is just whatever the person's kind of expecting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I want to kind of expand this out beyond just the Akashic Records, and even for, let's say, does Jesus look the same to me as he does to you?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at there. That's because, you know, and I am a out of body traveler, and it's a really interesting dimension that we find ourselves in, even through dream state. I think that the creative power that each and every one of us possesses, especially when we are able to break the bonds of the third dimension and start exploring the greater realities out there. I have noted for myself that everything that I have been able to access always appears in a way that I'm able to either be comfortable with or interpret well. And I think that's probably the big one there, is my ability to be able to interpret whatever it is I'm witnessing. And that is how it's going to manifest. And somebody standing right next to me may see something absolutely and completely different from what I'm seeing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would have to agree with your viewpoint for sure. Just because, like, if all of us saw the same exact things, how many meanings would come from it? You know, even though it's the same exact vision, how many meanings would there be? So I feel like it's the same way going in, is that it's a matter of discernment, knowing what you're seeing and being able to accept what you're seeing and how you see it. Yeah. Our mind a way of doing things. And also our spirit guides too. Our spirit guides have a way of communicating with you so that you are able to understand what they're trying to say too. Sometimes. I mean, my spirit guides, I swear, he tries to challenge me quite a bit and send me stuff. I have no idea what he's trying to say, but he still does it in a manner that I could understand, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and I also see it, you know, there's almost 8 billion people on the planet, so there's almost 8 billion different types of ways to perceive something, you know, and then, you know, whatever you perceive when you're in that other space, you have to bring it back, process it through your brain, figure out how to put it into language form, and then describe it to somebody else. You know, and I see this all the time. You know, I'll be explaining one thing, and somebody will be explaining something else, and it takes a while before we realize that we're talking about the same damn thing. You know,
Absolutely.
And you know, and that goes with, you know, so many other things. You know, but for me, you know, I'll get visions in my head, or I'll go down these long conversations with myself, you know, and it'll be accompanied by visuals, and it's like, I understand it completely in my mind, but if you ask me to say it out loud, you know, it's going to take me a couple weeks to be able to formulate it into a dialogue, you know, that goes, you know, in linear fashion to what we're used to. So it's, you know, I think it's really tough to bring this message back, but it's not tough in the sense that it's not doable, but just tough in the sense that it's hard to project that emotional feeling through language.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have one vision in mind that I had the same exact thing where, you know, I had no idea what I was seeing or how to comprehend what I was seeing, and it took me a matter of months to finally get the idea of what it was. And even then, I still can't explain it to anybody. I mean, people would probably think I'm crazy for my meaning, but it resonated with me. It's what resonates with you, you know?
Yeah, and if people think you're crazy, that means you're on the right path.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I was crazy Uncle Tom, right?
You were.
Yeah. Oh, so, what about, before we're actually getting pretty close to the top of this hour, but before we sign off for this first hour, what do you feel about those extraterrestrial races that are visiting the planet right now and their role in the spiritual progression of mankind?
Oh, good question. I am actually still trying to figure out my thoughts on it. I feel that they're absolutely there. I feel that there's extraterrestrials here on Earth as human beings. And I absolutely believe that there is a huge battle from one person or one extraterrestrial to another. I am still trying to figure out this battle idea, just because I view life as such a loving manner and there should be no war. But I don't know. I couldn't really tell you my exact thoughts on it because it's pretty vague. It's out there. I have no idea exactly how I feel.
Yeah. Well, you know, the battle's inevitable. I mean, we live in a dualistic reality. I mean, everything's polarity here. There's positive and negative, and one cannot exist without the other. Just the being in the physical form requires duality and requires the light and the dark to be able to exist. So it's absolutely inevitable, but that both sides of the coin have to be there. And that's that eternal battle between light and dark, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I could say that there is a spiritual warfare happening. As to who, what, and when, and what's the outcome, I couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
You're not going to give away the end of the book already.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't think there is an end to the book, and that's the trick right there. That's the trick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So Diana, how can people get a hold of you?
You can actually email me through my website, or you can actually find me on Facebook as well. I also have Instagram and all that stuff, but Facebook seems to be the platform that everybody seems to want to contact me on. So you can do it there, Diana Billingslea, or ignitingtheinneryou.com. My email, my phone number, stuff like that is on my site that you can actually contact me at.
So, any books in the works, or are you an avid blogger or anything along those lines?
I am working on the blogging aspect. Honestly, I can say that I haven't been full force with it. As for books, oh my gosh, yes, there's gonna be books. As for right now, do I have books? No. I do not. They're in my head. But hopefully here soon you'll be seeing some great stuff coming out there. From my own spiritual path and what I've been through, I'm going to have a book that I'm going to create out of that, just for the self-help type of atmosphere. And then I will be creating a book with actually another author that I kind of touched base with it, with you last Monday in regards to it, but it is the journey of a female energy versus the male energy, and what the journeys are like, talking about how we've transitioned from a masculine energy to the female energy and the difference between the two. So great stuff in the works. Lots of different things that I've been dabbling in. So
sounds exciting. Yeah, we had a good conversation about the feminine, masculine properties and their influences on the way everything's unfolding here. We'll definitely talk about that a little bit in the second hour. And wow, that flew by so damn fast, just especially because you guys couldn't hear half of it through the first part of the show. Like I said, I'll do what I can to edit that up and make it at least hearable on some level anyways. And by the way, we do simulcast this telepathically, so if you're not able to get to your phone or computer or iPod or whatever the heck, just tap on in and you'll catch the whole show. All right, guys, we are going to take a short break, and if you're out there listening on one of those other media formats and want to hear more from the 100th Monkey Radio, I would urge you to go on over to www.the100thmonkeyradio.com, where you will find 5 years worth of shows there in a archive that has all sorts of information and amazing beings. So we'll look for you over there. Condemnation without investigation is the height of ignorance.
Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change.
How do you wash your sweet potato?
Freedom's calling, I feel the fire that's deep inside us. Everybody wants change, but tell me who will guide us. To the leaders that pass away, put up your lighters. It's a beautiful struggle, but it cannot divide us. We're the ones that we've always been waiting for. See yourself in the mirror and open up the door. Walk through it and feel the love throughout your pores. Be the light, life's purpose is to feel joy. Metaphysical, lyrical, standing up for truth. The only one to make change is walking in your shoes. Be the example, don't complain about the news. Making music and serving the world with the loo. Now you can be the same, or you can be the change. Find strength from inside, break through the chains. No one to blame, nothing to prove. You create your reality, it's up to you. Be the change
that you wanna see in the world. Like Gandhi, live for peace. Aspire to be someone who fights for the beliefs. Like Martin Luther King. Aspire to be that love, that light, like Christ. Life for the moment in need. And if you believe in Jehovah, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, it's up to me.
My soul yearns for peace in a world that's flooded with war. History's littered with body scarred, trying to settle the score and maintain an archaic platform of power and greed. People fight for land out of survival and need. So I'm killing my television and I'm planting a seed to fill my head with knowledge that I'm seeing recede. Due to the media propaganda, killing my creed. Or what don't kill me make me stronger, feeling straight when I bleed. Fighting for interest before it's attached to feet. They try to sell you anything in this world, nothing for free. Land, air, fire, and water, they keep up in the ante, while the anti-proletariat hold the powers that be. But we keep fighting, surviving, and thriving, recycling and rhyming. We constantly inclining, we see through the lying and prying. They we keep trying to keep you from asking the why.
Be the change that you wanna see in the world. Like Gandhi, live for peace. Aspire to be someone who fights for the beliefs. Like Martin Luther King. Aspire to be that love, that light, like Christ. Life for the moment in need. And if you believe in Jehovah, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, it's up to me.
We find solutions, different possibilities. possibilities, creating organizations like Aspire to Be, inspiring young minds to see, building life skills, nurturing creativity, fulfilling the youth's basic needs, listening actively, teaching the tools to succeed, positive role models, we plant the seed, the roots drink the water which feed the tree, someone help me, giving back is my responsibility.
Be the change that you wanna see in the world, like Gandhi live for peace, aspire to be someone who fights for the beliefs like Martin Luther King.